Hello, witches. I'm not going to hold you for too long, but come on to this broadcast because I feel in my spirit that witches are conflicted as to why they were born at this time in history. I am High Priestess Autumn Venus. This is a live audio only broadcast on You Were Born for This Time, witches. You could have been born at any time in history. At any time you could have been birthed, but you were birthed here now on July 20th, 2023. You are here. There is a reason why you are here. I said this before. Witches are powerhouses by nature, by their very nature. Witches are powerhouses. Think about what that word means. Think about what that word means. Powerhouse. You are meant to be here now at this point in history because every single witch here has something, a gift that the world needs. I said this countless times and I'll say it again. It is witches that are a defining voice of a young generation. It is witches that are a defining voice of a young generation. You could have been born any other time in history, but you're here in 2023. Why? You know why. How can you know how? Know why? Ask your chosen God or goddess or deity or ancestor or familiar or spirit animal. If you don't ask, you will never know. You know that you have a gift that nobody has. I'm not just talking about spiritually. You can do something that I can't do. You know something that I don't know. And it's needed. If you were not meant to be here, you would be dead. You would have never been born. You would have been a miscarriage. You would have been a aborted baby. Can I say it just like that? Can I keep it real just like that? Can I talk to you witches like this? With some real talk? Thank you. You are here for a reason. Because you have something in you that non-witches, people who are not witches don't have, they can't have, they will never have, because they are not witches. But you are a witch. You are different. You must have known since you were a child that you were different. You were special. You were better. Yes, born better than your fellow classmates in school, your fellow friends. You must have known this. This is not me trying to make you arrogant or cocky. It's the truth. Witches are born different. Witches are a different breed. Witches are cut from a different cloth. This is the truth. I'm not just hyping up witches or trying to blow smoke up your booty. It's the truth. It is the truth. Have you ever asked yourself, why am I here now? Why am I here during this lifetime? Because you are meant to be here. You have something that non-witches don't have. Not everybody is capable of carrying the title of being a witch. Not everybody is willing to take personal responsibility for their lives to be a witch. You know, when you're a witch, you don't blame other people for your problem. You don't play the victim card. You don't say, oh, poor me, pity me, feel sorry for me, have sympathy for me, and cry yourself to sleep all night. Witches don't do that. Witches take accountability. Maybe that's what you have. Maybe you're the witch in your family, the first witch in your family to take accountability. Maybe you're the first person in your family who is a witch, who is sick and tired of being sick and tired. You're tired of the bullshit. You're tired of the drama, the stress. And you are the witch to lay generational curses to rest in 2023. You, nobody else. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to witches. You could have been born during the American Revolution, the Civil War, when Neanderthal was still roaming the earth. But you weren't. You're here now, in modern day times. Ask your chosen God or goddess or deity or ancestor or familiar or spirit animal why you are here now. Why are you here now? I can tell you one reason why, and that's what I've just said earlier. Because you have something in you that non-witches don't have. They can't get it because they are not anointed. They don't have the capacity. They're not capable. They're not worthy of being a witch. They're not. Not everybody can be a witch. Not everybody should try to be a witch. They shouldn't. They should not. And you see a lot of fakes, just for show, but they're not really witches. They're not. Witches are a unique breed. If you were not meant to be here, you would not be here. But the world needs something that you have to change the course of human history. You have something in you, witches, that is going to change the course of human history. That's why you're here now. That's one of the reasons why you're here now. If you want to know the full scope, if you want to know everything, ask your chosen God or goddess or deity or ancestor or spirit animal or familiar. I ask Hecate why I'm here, and that is to be appointed and anointed to help guide other witches to live a more magically blessed life so they no longer have to go through life the hard way by doing witchcraft, by working with the energy found in nature to bring about real, significant, and permanently positive change. That's why I'm here in 2023. Too many witches die off. They died, physically died, never knowing why they were here. And every point in history of humanity, there has been a witch born. That might sound like an obvious statement, but let me finish. That might sound like an obvious statement, but let me finish though. Something has changed in that generation. Something has changed in that generation. Something has changed in that generation that the witch was born in. When a witch enters any area in this earth, that area responds to the witch. Any area that the witch enters into, that environment responds to the witch. Because witches are powerhouses. That's why. Witches are powerhouses. And I feel sorry for anybody that challenges a witch. I have seen what happens to the proud when they take on a witch. I have seen what happens to people who try to stand in a witch's way, try to stop a witch's destiny, try to stop a witch from breaking through a barrier or jumping over an obstacle. It never ends well. Don't challenge a witch. Just don't do it. It's not that kind of party. It's not going down like that. It's not. Especially if that witch knows why she or he is here now in 2023. because that witch will have no tolerance for people standing in their way. That witch will look at you in disgust, be grossed out by you, and say out loud to your face, "Bitch, why are you here? Get the fuck out of my face. Get the fuck out of my way now." Now. Because that witch knows why they're here now in this time period, when they could have been born at any other time. Because they're meant to be here, that's why. You see more people becoming witches because they want control over their lives. You see more witches who are former Christians or former Muslims, because those two false religions, and Christianity and Islam, are false religions. Let's keep it real. Discriminate against human nature. Islam and Christianity are a outrage on humanity. That's the truth. Be offended if you want to, but that's the truth. That's the truth. Be offended, cry, fart, piss your panties, but that's the truth. People become witches because they want control over their own lives, not because they want to control other people, make puppets out of other people, or give people a poison apple, or make people their lovers. No. Witches are first concerned about witches, not using witchcraft to control anybody. They don't have to. Nobody understands human nature better than a witch. Nobody understands human nature better than a witch. Anybody that tells you differently is a liar. They are a liar. Nobody understands human nature better than a witch. Witches are by their very nature, intuitive, psychic, prophetic. They just know shit. Some witches know shit, and they don't know how they know shit, but they know shit. And they need to use these intuitive gifts to bring humanity into the next dimension. You know that we would be 400 years more into the future had we not sent our brightest minds to the gallows or burned alive in Europe. If we had not had the Salem witch trials or the burning of witches in Europe, in Africa, in Asia, the world itself would be 400 years in the future. We're late because we burned our best minds at the stake. We hung our best minds at the gallows in Salem, Massachusetts, because of Christian nationalism, Islamic nationalism. That's the truth. That's the truth. My heart. I know it sounds harsh. I know. You'll be okay. You'll be okay. Don't worry about it. You'll be okay. It's harsh. You might want to hear it. I know a lot of black people who are Muslim don't want to hear that. But you'll be okay. It's the truth. But you'll be okay. Might be offended, might be angry, might be pissed off, might hate me. But you'll be okay. You'll be okay. You could have been born at any other time in history, but you're here in 2023. Oh, why? Might be saying, why was I born to see, a pandemic? I don't know. Why was I here to see the Twin Towers come down? I don't know. I lived through, I'm from New York. I was 10 years old when the Twin Towers came down. I saw it on television. I was 30 years old when the pandemic happened in 2020. I don't know why I was born at that time period to witness those two historical events. I don't know why. But here I am, and here you are in 2023. I don't know what's coming in August. I don't know. And I'm not one of those psychics that make predictions talking about, oh, here's the word from the Lord for the month of August. I don't do that fake ass shit. Nobody knows what's coming in August. Hecate does not give you a timeline for every single day in August. She gives it to you gradually. She gives it to you piece by piece. Can you imagine your chosen God or goddess giving you information for the entire month in one day? And not understand that you're human? And you will be overwhelmed with all that information? No. Hecate is not going to tell you what's going to happen in 30 days, in one day. She's not. No God or goddess is going to do that. They'll tell you what's going to happen next week or the next day, but not 1 month in advance, because you are still human. You can't take in all that information. Hecate understands that you still have a life outside of being a witch. And she's not going, no God or goddess is going to intentionally, purposely overwhelm you with a whole bunch of information of what's coming all 31 days, I think, of August. I think August has 31 days. Does August have 31 days? I think so. I'm pretty sure August had 31 days. So I don't know what's coming next month in August. There's been a lot happening so far this year. A lot. And whatever comes, whatever challenge or obstacle that comes, there will be a witch. Listen very carefully. There will be a witch there to meet it whenever it comes, whatever it is. Hell, it could be a dinosaur. Hell, it could be Bigfoot. Hell, it could be the Loch Ness Monster. Hell, it could be Barney. Whatever. The witch will be there to meet it, whatever it is, when it arrives. Because witches don't have the same fears as man. Witches don't have the same fears as man. We do not. We do not. Most humans are cowards and suckers. And they run and hide and piss themselves. They're fraidy cats. They're scaredy cats. They're pussy. Can I talk to you like that? Can I say it like that? Okay. The reason why you're here now in 2023 and not any other time period is a question that can only be answered by your chosen God or goddess or ancestor or spirit animal or familiar. You can ask them as many questions as you want. But I know for one reason why witches are here now in 2023, and that is because every single witch here has something in them that the world needs to make it better, to make it heal, to make it once again inhabitable, make it livable for humans to actually live here. It is witches that will change this world. That's not being arrogant or cocky or fresh or being smart. It's the truth. It is witches. Witches. Capital WITCHES. Witches that will change this world. That is changing the world. It has always been a small group of committed witches that has ever changed the world. Ever. Or people going to those small committed groups of witches and asking those small committed witches for help. Mankind has never done anything on its own with no help from a witch. Every discovery, every change, big or small, the credit goes to a witch. Because witches solely rely on their chosen god or goddess or deity or ancestor or familiar or spirit animal or just their intuition to make decisions that are never wrong. That are never wrong. They don't get it wrong. A well-seasoned witch, I'm not talking about food, okay? A well-seasoned witch, confident in their spiritual gifts, never gets it wrong. Never gets it wrong. Because that witch has seen too much. That witch has seen too much. They just know. They are just in the know. They know what's really good. They do. The witch may not always reveal what he or she knows unless it's to a trusted person, like a friend or a family member or a confidant or a high priest or a high priestess like myself. But they know. They know. A lot of witches already know why they're here. You may not like it. They may not agree with it. Might make them angry. They may not want to pursue being a witch anymore when they find out the truth as to why they were born at this time period and not in the 1940s. Why are you here in the late 2000s? Why didn't your life in the 1940s? I don't know. You already know. I can always tell. When somebody asks me for a life reading, I can already tell that they know already. They just want a different answer. I can't give you a different answer. Hecate or your chosen deity already told you why you're here, but you don't like the answer. Or you're mad. Or you don't know what to do. That's okay. But it's not going to change just because you came to me. Your life's destiny is not going to change just because you went to a different witch to find out why you're here after you have spoken to your chosen god or goddess for confirmation as to why you're here. And any witch who says they can change your destiny is lying. Witches also do believe that you are responsible for your own life and that no reading or constellation by a witch, high priest, or high priestess like myself is set in stone. You are still responsible for your own life. Your life is still your own. You can completely ignore the words of the chosen spiritualists you went to go see. You can. Because it's still your life. Your life is your own. All of it. Your life is your own. All of it. Your life does not belong to anybody. You don't share your life with anybody. When you die, you're going to be alone. That might sound harsh, but you're either going to be buried alone or cremated alone. There's only two choices. Only two. So you really have to think for yourself. Are you going to listen to your chosen god or goddess or ancestor or spirit animal or familiar? Or you're going to do things your way. Do things what I call the hard way. It'll make life harder for you. Not impossible, but harder. And if you don't know yet your chosen god or goddess, think about what you are always looking up when it comes to witchcraft. What are you into? What interests you about witchcraft? Like for me, instantly, I love the moon. Hecate represents the moon in the maiden, mother, and crone phase. I've always loved the moon. When I would be in the back seat of my aunt's car, I used to believe that the moon was traveling alongside me while she drove. I always loved the moon. Always. I always loved being around water. I'm a water sign. I'm a Scorpio. In case you didn't know that, I'm a Scorpio. So, and Hecate is a representation of the full moon. So that's when I realized that is my chosen goddess. What are you interested in? Are you interested in tarot cards? Are you interested in candles or crystals or ruins or sigils or glamour magic or money magic or love spells or health spells? Just take a little time to figure it out. Make a list of things you love about witchcraft. And then research the gods or goddesses that are associated with it. And let me just say this about your ancestors. You are not obligated to worship any ancestor that treated you like a piece of garbage when you were alive, okay? Let me just say that. You are not obligated to honor or worship an ancestor that treated you like garbage when you were alive. You're not. Because if they treated you like garbage when they were alive, they are still a piece of trash in death. Okay? Can I say it like that? That's the truth, okay? That's the truth. That sounds harsh. But that's the truth. That is indeed the truth. And you need to hear it. Because a lot of witches are not being told. A lot of witches, too many witches, are not being told. You are not obligated to honor an ancestor who treated you like garbage. You're not. And you should not. Please don't do that. They don't deserve it. They don't deserve to be in your presence. And you might try to make excuses for them. Oh, they had a hard life. Oh, they grew up in a different time period. I don't want to hear that shit. And I don't. There is never an excuse for somebody to treat you like shit. Okay? Nobody. Don't fall for no sob-ass story. Don't fall for no sad-ass story about how they grew up. Don't fall for that shit. It's a lie. It's not true. They're just a mean old bastard. A mean old bitch. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. The time period that you were born in is the one that you belong in. I know some people are crazy when they say this. They say, oh, I feel like I don't belong here. That's a mental illness. Talking about, oh, I should have been born in 1950s. Girl, You are 18 years old. What are you talking about? The 1950s? Really? As a black person in the 1950s? Really? As a colored person in the 1950s? Really? You wish you were born in the 1950s? You're mentally ill. Nothing was good for colors in the 1950s. Nothing. What are you talking about? You're just a dumbass. I'll tell you to your face. I will tell you to your face. Absolutely. Absolutely. If you were meant to be in the 1950s, you would have been born in the 1950s. You would have. But you're here. You're here. Because you're meant to be here, not 70 years in the past. Know your place. Know your place. There's a reason why you're here now. Or you would not be here. You would be dead already. Ask your chosen God or goddess or deity or ancestor or familiar or spirit animal why you're alive now in 2023. And they will provide you with an answer. It may be an answer that you don't like. You'll be okay. You'll get over it. But that's the answer. And they're not going to lie to you. Your chosen God or goddess is not going to lie to you. They're not going to blow smoke up your booty hole. None of that. None of that. They're going to tell it like it is. And it's up to you to decide what you're going to do with it. Or not do with it. That's your decision. And I mean, everybody has to make a choice. Everybody has to make a choice. But keep in mind, there are consequences for your choice. There are consequences for your choice. I would never completely disregard what Hecate tells me. Never. I think that's committing suicide. Spiritual suicide. To just say, nah, forget it. I don't care. That's not me. I don't want to hear that. Don't do that. Don't be that person. Because then life is going to be harder for you when, as a witch, it should be easier. You don't have to go through life the hard way. Life is not hard. Life is what you make it. That's a social construct in today's society. When people say, oh, life is not fair, life is fair. Or when people say, oh, life is hard, life is not hard. Who lied to you? Who is still lying to you? Are you serious with me right now? Life is not hard. Life is what you make it because it's your life. Life is not hard. Life is actually fair. A lot of witches take that to heart. Life is hard. And then they realize that they are witches. And that's a lie. That they can make their lives better. That they should aim to make their lives better. Because because witches are powerhouses, and what the world needs now more than ever is more witches. That the witch can work with the energy found in nature to bring about real, significant, and permanently positive change. That you can be the witch in your family that lays generational curses to rest in 2023. If not you, then who? You know, every family has a witch in it. Every family has a witch in it. Every family has a witch in it, but is their choice to either accept those spiritual gifts or to reject them for a false religion such as Islam or Christianity, in Abrahamic faith. Every witch has a family. Every family has a witch in it. Only a witch can break a generational curse. Only a witch can break a generational curse. Nobody else. Because they understand how it's formed, how to tear it down, and how to make sure it does not return. The Muslims and the Christians can't give you an answer. They can't do it because they are not witches. There's no such thing as a Islamic witch. There is no such thing as a Christian witch. That's an insult to real witches. Imagine replacing Hecate with Muhammad or with Jesus. Are you fucking serious with me right now with that shit? Get the fuck out of here with that shit. You dumb bitch. That's the truth. That sounds so mean. Oh, that sounds so cold. It's the truth. I'm just the first to let you know what's really good. What's really good. You don't have to know everything from a spiritualist that you went to go find out why you're here at this time period. You need to talk to your chosen god or goddess. You need to have a real conversation with them. Take in everything they're saying. Take down notes. A lot of times when you talk to your chosen god or goddess, it will only be, audible to you. Only you can hear their voice. Or it will be, I don't want to say imagination or visualization, but they'll talk to you in dreams and visions and, give you signs that you ask for. But the best time to really connect with your god or goddess is at the witching hour between 3 and 6 a.m. That's the witching hour. It's called the witching hour because it's easier to do witchcraft with no interruptions, not being disturbed, not having to worry about the outside environment from which you live, making noise and being all loud and being, ratchet or, causing the scene and, distracting you. That's why it's called the witching hour, because most witches do witchcraft between 3 and 6 a.m. They communicate with their loved ones, their ancestors, between 3 and 6 a.m. They communicate with their chosen god or goddess between the hours of 3 and 6 a.m. So you may want to I know it's early. I know some of you don't want to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning or 3, or don't want to get up between 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. I get it. It's kind of early. Tired. You're a little tired. You may have work 2 hours later, but make time for your chosen deity so you can figure out why you're here at this time period in our life. I know 3 o'clock in the morning, I know some of you witches are saying right now, that's too damn early. I know, I get it. But if you're serious, guess what? Your chosen god or goddess will be serious with you. They will be serious with you. If you mean business with them, they will mean business with you. You'll be able to hear their voice much more often. Much more often, you will be able to hear their voice and not conflicted with your imagination or you being crazy just hearing shit. You will know that they have a very distinct voice. Oh, that's Hecate. Oh, that's Aphrodite. Oh, that's Aries. Oh, that's Hades. If you work with Hades, that's Hecate. That's Lilith. That's my ancestor that passed away. That's my familiar communicating with me. That's my spirit animal communicating with me. They would have a distinct voice to alert you that it is them you are hearing from, and it's not just your imagination running wild. But you have to develop that relationship with them. So you may have to develop a schedule of getting up at 3 o'clock, between 3 o'clock in the morning and 6 a.m. in the morning, which I know is it's not easy. Kind of hard. A little tired. But it's worth it. You don't have to do that every single night. Shit. Do it once a week. But you have until sunrise. What the hell? I think the sun rises now here in New York at 5:30 p.m. Not 5:30 p.m. I mean 5:30 a.m. Yeah, like 5:30 a.m. the sun is coming up here in New York. So I would probably, like me personally, I'll probably do it between 3 and 5, just before the sun comes up. But you don't have to do it every single night. That's gonna fuck up your sleep schedule. If you work from home, then you have more days you can do it because you're at home anyway. But if you work outside of the home, then you can just do it once a week. And just have a conversation with your chosen God or goddess. Why am I here in 2023? What gift have you put inside me, goddess or God, that the world needs? What can I offer the world? Use me at your discretion, Hecate. Use me at your discretion, Aries. Use me at your discretion, Lilith. Use me at your discretion, Aphrodite. Use me at your discretion, this ancestor or this spirit animal or this familiar. Just ask to be a vessel. Ask to be a vessel to be used as your chosen God or goddess sees fit. Not to make you their puppet, but to make you their devotee. And yes, this may require a sacrifice. I'm not talking about, killing the baby or eating goat dick. Okay? I'm talking about giving up something of yours personally that you can't get back, such as blood or hair or semen or vaginal fluid or your favorite blanket, your favorite teddy bear, something, a true sacrifice, something you can't get back. It has to be something you can't get back. If you are good at, the best sacrifice you can probably give is definitely your hair. Or I know some people, especially women, don't like the sight of blood, even though they have a period every month. You can just give a piece of your hair. You can make your chosen God or goddess a food and leave it in some environment that they are associated with. So let's say you work with Hecate. I would probably make a cake and leave it at a crossroads for Hecate. Because the crossroads represent Hecate. I'll leave it under the light of a full moon. Because the full moon also represents Hecate. You can leave food out on your altar as long as you cover it. I'm not saying you have roaches, okay? I'm just telling you to stay safe. That's all. I'm not saying you got roaches or ants or termites. I'm saying keep it safe. Don't draw those insects to you by having the food out in the open. And make sure you change the water. Okay? Give your God or goddess fresh water every morning. Don't let it sit there for a week. Give your chosen God or goddess fresh water. Don't let the water sit out there for a week. Pour it out. Give them fresh water. It does not have to be Fiji water or Poland Spring. It can just be from your kitchen sink, as long as it's fresh. They don't want no water that's been sitting out there on the altar for a week. Pour the shit out. Okay? Pour it out. They don't want that shit. Just have a conversation. Keep up with your altar, definitely. If you also want to build a closer relationship with your chosen God or goddess, keep up with the altar. If you can't have an altar where you live at, because maybe you have a roommate or you're with parents and you're not yet out of the broom closet, you can always go out into nature. You can't light any candles in the forest or the woods because you don't want to cause a fire. But you can communicate with your chosen God or goddess by finding something in those woods that is associated with them. You don't need candles to do witchcraft. What? Yeah. You actually don't need candles to do witchcraft. Candles serve as a focal point. It helps you stay focused. And when you burn your petition or spell or ritual or hex or curse that you wrote down on that piece of paper, the smoke is being sent out to the universe to be evaluated by that chosen God or goddess of yours to be manifested as they see fit. As they see fit. And that's how you see fit. Spells don't always work the way you want them to. Sometimes they work better when you take your hands off of it so Hikase can put her hands on it. Or your own chosen God or goddess can put their hands on it. You can do it tonight. You can write a petition. If you're able to burn candles in your environment, in your home, you can do it tonight. Write out your petition. Like, I would probably write, if I were you, I would write a petition to my chosen goddess, who is Hikase, and ask her, why am I here in 2023? Why this time period? Why not another time period? Get into the details. Get into the details. Why am I here? And then patiently wait for an answer. Even if it's an answer that you don't like or don't agree with or might piss you off, wait for an answer. You will get an answer. You will get an answer. You ask, you will receive. If you ask, you will receive. The answer is never going to be silence on the end of your chosen God or God. They're going to answer you. They're not going to keep silent. If you never ask, you will never know. All you have to write down on your petition tonight, if you're going to do one, is ask your chosen God or goddess, why am I here? Write your name down on the petition and then burn it in the flame of your chosen color candle. Even if you only have birthday candles, use that. If you only have tea light candles or chime candles, use that. It works the same way. There is no difference. There is no difference as long as it is burned. Now, if you can't burn candles where you live at tonight, you can just bury it off of your property. If you can't burn candles where you live at, you can do that. Bury it in the earth off your property. Find your closest park or woods or forest and bury it in the ground. Then walk away from it. Don't look back. And don't wonder about it. Let your chosen God or goddess provide you with an answer. Don't come up with an answer by yourself. Let them give you an answer. But what happens if you have more than one chosen god or goddess? The answer will still be the same. They're not going to give you two different answers, okay? If you work with more than two gods or goddesses, they will give you the same answer. They're not going to leave you confused, okay? It's not the Bible. They will give you the same answer. They will not give you two different answers if you ask the question, why am I here? They will give you the same answer. If they do not give you the same answer, if they do give you different answers, then one of those gods or goddesses is not really a god or goddess. One of them is a fake, or one of them is somebody you should not be working with. But the answer must be the same if you are working with two or more gods or goddesses. That's the truth. That's the truth. You can ask, but understand this. Understand this. It might not be the answer you want. It may not be the answer you want, but it's true nonetheless. So just ask. Just ask. You ask, you will get an answer. If you ask, you will get an answer. So thank you, witches, for those of you who came on to this live pop-up audio only broadcast. I will leave this up for the replay in case you came on late. Be sure to share this broadcast on your own page, on your other social media platforms, so that I can reach their Explore page and they can follow me all over social media about all things witches, witchcraft, and my personal goddess, Hecate, and to learn how to not go through life the hard way by working with the energy found in nature to bring about real, significant, and permanently positive change by a high priestess here in New York that is anointed and appointed by Hecate to lead. So with that being said, thank you, witches, once again for joining me for this pop-up broadcast. And with that, I release you into the rest of your evening. Bye, everyone.